Audio.etc is proudly supported by Auto Sound and Security.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This thing. Good morning guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. Continuing on the Audi amp installation today, I think. Like, I don't know if I'll get the whole amp actually installed, but one thing I do want to do is run wires. So I've got the RCAs, the remote wire and the reverse supply lead wire bundled on the driver's floor. I want to run them along the right hand side of the car and have them all come up in this cavity up here where I'm proposing the amp to go. By the way, the subwoofer, I've got the subwoofer currently hooked up to just a Soundstream monoblock amp. I'm playing some music off my laptop, just low pass from 40 Hertz, and I'm kind of like doing a bit of a run-in because this is the 10-inch version of the same subwoofer that I have, and they do take a while to run in, these power slim run ones. My one took a while. But anyway, it's actually making heaps of bass. I'm quite surprised, even with the trunk open and the seats not up. There's actually quite a lot of bass coming off this thing, I have to say. It's probably going to be hard for you guys to hear because the microphone in the GoPro isn't going to pick it up, but this is actually putting out a whole lot of low end. Yeah, a few rattles here and there though. Obviously it's putting a lot of bass into the structure of the car, finding new rattles we didn't know we had. But I suppose at some point I'll get to go around and do as much sound editing as possibly can, just on certain sections that need it. Like just stopping a wire from rattling, or stopping or tightening something up if it's necessary. But anyway, today, yeah, running RCAs down that side. So I need to, I think, get a few more panels off. I got this one off just now. I need to, I think, take these B-pillar ones off so that I can get these floor trims out and then lift the carpet up. Yeah, that looks like the next step. One. Frickin' metal clips, man. Alright. Got it. And it comes down, okay. Ridiculous. These metal clips are a bad idea because they just stay in the car and they pull themselves out of the plastic panels. Why would you make the clip stronger than the panel it's holding on? Just a question I've got for Audi. Whose idea was that? That is ridiculous. Over-engineered. Okay, now that can come out. Okay, I managed to get the seat completely unbolted and the seatbelt unbolted from the seat. So what I need to do now is disconnect the negative of the battery. So if you ever have to unplug an airbag cable and you don't want to cause an airbag fault on your computer's system, on your car's computer, then if you unbolt the negative, leave it for maybe 5 minutes, basically just to ensure that there's absolutely no current flowing through any of the systems, then it can't log a fault. So that's unplugged now. I can leave that for, I mean, you don't have to, but I'm going to leave it for a couple minutes just to be sure. That way I know there's no current going through the system and I can unplug any airbag plugs that I want. Oh yeah, there we go. What's under here? There's all the connectors under here. Look at that. There's quite a few. There's 3 big ones and a little yellow one. That'll be the airbag on its own there. And the 3 big ones will be electric seat, maybe seat heater, and like passenger sensing system, all sorts of stuff. I'll be able to lift the carpet up a bit better and run the wires. Well, that'd be ideal. Right, well, it's been a few minutes. I can probably unplug the chair now. So, unplugged. Looks like that comes up and that pops out. And then each of these don't look easy to unplug. Oh look, they just pull out, okay. And then the yellow one, how does that come out? Does it just pull out? Oh yeah, it does. Okay, they all just pull out. Interesting. Okay, put those parts over there. Bitch. Yeah. You should have a towel on the board. Watch the door. It's just stupid. Ridiculous. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't do it myself. Oh yeah, maybe. With a bit of persuasion. Okay, it was another mission, but I managed to get the floor, the spare foot step out. This thing was screwed on, and then you had to slide it up to get off this thing, and then there was 3 massive nuts holding this on. OTT, seriously, like all other cars just use one big strong bit of plastic which bolts on. What's wrong with that? You don't need reinforced steel behind your left foot. Okay. This carpet doesn't want to fold, it doesn't want to bend up like this and see the factory track under here. That's good, I can run my power wires with that, I think. See, there's this factory track all the way along. There's heaps of room for cables under here, but Audi go and fill it all with foam. Man, OTT. Okay guys, made some progress. I'm kind of in that stage where with wire running there's not much sort of talking about it as I go. I kind of just sort of do it. Head down, get the crack on through it. Got the RCAs and the power wire and the the remote and reverse run to length. They run the RCAs and the power wire and everything's run with the factory loom down till here, until where the RCAs go off on their own and down that channel, and then the power and the remote and stuff go through the factory loom all the way up to the original locations. That's that sub going. And I've just been working on the speaker wires now, so you guys know I'm using this nice Focal 15 gauge Hyper Twist 1.5mm squared stuff. It's gonna do good, I'm pretty sure. I've just cut all the pieces I think that I need to length. Hopefully they're all long enough. Pretty sure they will be. And they are going to, because I was about to put this all back down, but then I totally forgot that I hadn't done the speaker wires. So I'm gonna have to do, I think, this side first, put the carpet down once I'm done with it, put the seat back in, plug all the airbags back in, put the battery back on, then move this seat back and forth so I can undo the bolts, take the battery off again, take that seat out, lift the carpet up, and do the same thing as I've done on that side with the wires. So it's a long process, which is why I'm just time-lapsing it. So yeah, that's what's next, doing the speaker wires. Yeah. Okay guys, another interlude. Sorry it's taking so long, but it is just one of those things that you gotta do slowly and right if you're gonna do it to the same quality as the rest of the car, especially in these Audis where everything is run very meticulously and done very neatly. I want to match it, like with all the tape and stuff like that. And it being an Audi makes it slower and harder anyway, getting things apart and getting to the wires and all of that sort of stuff. But anyway, what I did was I sort of semi-measured out and cut 4 bits of the Focal 15 gauge, and then I'm using for the subwoofer 2 of those bits in parallel. So 1.5 times 2, so that's 3 millimeters of copper squared for the positive and the negative. So 2 bits of 15 gauge put together, it's going to be totally fine for running the subwoofer, which is 600 watts RMS. That subwoofer is definitely loosened up. It's louder now than it was this morning, that's for sure. And it goes pretty low as well. But anyway, so yeah, the wires start all down here, and I've got lots of excess as well, so easy to work with. So I got these 2 here for the subwoofer, and then these 4 for the speakers. It's all Tessa taped all the way along. 6 of the wires split off up inside of here and go along inside here. 2 of them drop out of, oh, where'd they go? Okay, there we go. Now I've got my 2 pieces almost long enough. And then all the wires go inside these organisers down here. RCA's just take a wee bit of a shortcut just here. I don't really know why I even did that, to be honest. Probably could have put the RCA's through there. Okay, so what I was saying before I got myself stuck into doing something else. So all the wires are like Tessa taped and run along the factory loom location. They come down, go along. So you can, the speaker wires themselves are like spiral Tessa taped together. They come along inside the factory loom, up over here. The rear speaker wire comes out of here, follows up, and is going to connect onto these 2 factory wires that go into the door. The reason I'm doing that, as I explained in an earlier video, is because in the door jambs here, in all of the doors, there are these massive big plastic plugs that you can't get wires through. I don't like the idea of just drilling a hole or extending the hole out to have speaker wires coming through there. I'd rather just connect onto the factory wires it only has to go from there to here. There's a very short distance to be going with a lower, you know, a lower grade speaker cable. It shouldn't be a problem. And then the front ones continue on, everything is cable tied, continue on, come through this big thing up to here, and they're going to do the same thing up in the corner, connect onto the wires that go through to here. By the way, something has happened in here at some point or another, because this has been terribly soldered and heat shrunk or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, that's pretty much this whole side done. I'm about ready to put the carpet back down, which is why I made this little section just to show you before I put it back down, which I think I can do now. All good. Get that out before I lose it. This can come down now. Cool. So I've done that. I can probably continue on doing the right hand side. Oh no, I can't do the right hand side wiring yet until I put this seat back in and put all the airbags back in, so I can reconnect the battery, so that I can move that seat forward, so that I can unbolt it, so that I can take it out. But to take it out I have to disconnect the battery first. I was just reading through a lot of you guys' comments in yesterday's video when I mounted the subwoofer to the tray, and so many of you are concerned that it's not a free air sub, or don't know if it's a free air sub or not, and think that he'll be back to put it in a box. But I honestly don't know. I don't think he will. I think he'll be back for more sound deadening, if anything, because at the moment there's a bit of reverberation, not coming from the actual parcel tray but other parts of the trunk, which makes sense. There's a lot of power going to that sub, but there's actually a lot of bass coming off it, and that's without the trunk closed or this back seats up. So that's with it pretty much in an infinite baffle. See? You guys may not be able to hear that. I don't know if the GoPro mic's going to pick it up very well, but there's a lot of bass coming off it. Like, me and Grant can hear it from outside the workshop, and I can hear it upstairs at this volume. This is just the volume I play it when I'm running it in. I'm running it in from, so that by the time I've finished the job it's good to go. But yeah, I don't think it's going to need a box, guys. Honestly, I think what's happening is it's turned the whole parcel tray into like a passive radiator almost, because there's no question about the fact that the parcel tray is flexing and vibrating, and I think basically what's happening is a lot of the bass is actually translating into the metal of the rear of the car, like the trunk and the tray, and that itself is vibrating and just creating audible bass. It sounds good. I'm honestly like super surprised how good it sounds, because no, it is not rated for an infinite baffle or as a free air sub. It's just a subwoofer, but it's putting out a lot more bass than I expected, considering I'm sitting here. This bass is open, this space is open, and I'm just sitting here sideways to it, and there's a lot of bass coming off it. I think it's just because the whole back of the car is flexing with it, and basically the whole car is vibrating. It sounds good, honestly. But I think one thing he will be back for is more sound deadening, because I'm not doing any more. This is all I quoted him for. He may come back saying I need it, it's rattling and stuff in the back, in which case, oh well, I'll have to take these panels back off, and I'll probably recommend we dynamite the whole trunk. What it's actually doing is it's pointing out all the things that are actually loose in this car, because I remember I had a conversation with you guys not that long ago about how these cars are put together so difficult, which is why they don't rattle 2 years down the track. Well, actually, as soon as you go and put a heavy duty subwoofer on the parcel tray, they rattle like crazy. Yep, there it goes. Whoa, listen to that. And this, by the way, is with it low pass to 40 Hertz. I've got it low pass to 40 Hertz. I'm only playing low notes. I'm very, what would be the word? I'm the opposite of apprehensive. I'm very optimistic about how it's going to turn out sounding wise. I think it's not, if anything, it's not going to be a lack of bass issue. It's going to be a reverberation and sound deadening issue that needs to be tackled after this job is done. Because just sitting here with all the doors open, the trunk open and the back seats gone, there's plenty of bass. Yeah. I kind of want to start just like working in one section of a car at a time rather than taking the whole thing apart, having parts and screws and stuff everywhere. So before I take that side apart and start doing anything more, I think I want to maybe start putting some stuff back together first. So yeah, I'm going to start putting this side back together, I think. I might just try to put this back corner back together, because this back corner is pretty much done. What I think I might do, because I think I could probably about ready to do it, is put this actual parcel tray cover back on. But before I do, I just want to, I think maybe do a wee bit more sound deadening on the wires, because I don't want these flapping about and possibly causing a rattle. So I might just put some duct tape over these just to like make sure they stay right down flat. What happens is I do the majority of a job and then I get kind of bored of it, so I have to change topic and do something else. Otherwise it just gets really frustrating doing the same job for more than like 4 hours. And if you're frustrated, you're not enjoying yourself, and if you're not enjoying yourself, then you're not doing good work. I always do better work when I'm having fun, and if that just means changing jobs momentarily to do a slightly different aspect of it, then it helps. Okay, that's going to plug into the that there's going to plug into the brake light. That's those wires all good, they're not flapping about now anymore. There we go, that's that all down. Okay, I think I can put the actual parcel tray back on now, but I am going to take a couple photos first. So yeah, one of you also mentioned putting the amp beside the subwoofer. I would have loved to have done that. I think it would look really cool, but there isn't enough depth between here, because the metal grill sits exactly in this hole. There isn't enough depth between the metal here and that, unfortunately. There is in certain sections, but it's very long amp. It goes the whole way across here and it just doesn't quite fit depth wise. Like if it was all that deep it would have been fine, but this part is up high and that part there is, I think, the main problem. That's the highest point. Okay, so there is a serious rattling issue here, but if I take my hand off, so I think that's the brake light hitting on it. The brake light is hitting the window, so I may have to put some dampening around it or something. This parcel tray has got a lot of kind of problems, the biggest of which being things like this, and this one totally gone. It's just like, I don't know if this light is aftermarket or what, but it seems very kind of like shoved in there, and like this is all warped. I don't know what it's made of. It's like kind of a cheaply formed into shape MDF, I guess, except it's all stringy on the inside rather than like fibery. Not sure what it is, like kind of thick gluey cardboard, I guess. But yeah, this stuff's all coming undone. This one's a wee bit loose. Like, just the condition of this tray is pretty crap as it is. But I'm gonna see what I can do with the hot glue gun. I might just try and fix this a bit better, maybe stick some of these down a bit better. I'm gonna put a bunch of glue, I think, around this light to stop it moving inside of here. Yeah, see, it feels loose. It's like just sort of clipped in there. So I want to just do some stuff to try and quieten this tray down a wee bit, I think. I don't know if it's going to do much, but it might help. Okay guys, coming towards the end of the video here, it's 10 to 5. I'm sorry, I know the last sort of maybe like few segments of this video have been quite disjointed and unproductive. I've kind of just, now it's on my fingers, gotten a bit tired I think, to be honest. But anyway, I've put some hot glue and then I decided to do some RTV as well around this whole sort of section because it's all very just kind of clipped together and I want to just kind of glue it a wee bit to prevent any rattling from happening around here. This thing is glued back on now. That's going to dry overnight. I think what I might try and do for you guys, just to end the video and end the week actually on an interesting productive note, I think I'm going to try and mount the amp for you right now. I don't think it's going to take me too long. I have decided after much deliberation to go full sleeper. The amplifier is going to be completely out of sight. It's going to be behind on the factory amplifier mount panel that was in there. Behind this panel you'll probably be able to see the heatsink a wee bit just through those vents, but the controls aren't going to be accessible. It's going to be tuned once perfectly and then it's going to stay in there, sleeper mode. The speakers are in sleeper mode, the subwoofer is sleeper mode unless you look from underneath there. It's pretty much a sleeper car. So I'm going to do that. The way I figured out I'm going to do it is so this goes like that in the car. The amplifier is going to go at the far front edge so that it's close to the panel there. I'm going to drill a hole around about here to mount through that amplifier mounting hole thing, which does have some slide and adjustability. And then for the other end, since we ran out of metal, I'm going to put this here mounted on these 2 points here. I'm going to use some nuts and bolts to go through this hole and this hole, which is going to sit about there. And then the other end of the amp will get a bolt through this end, which will be sticking out here with some washers to account for the space difference. That's how I'm going to do it. Let me try and do this real quickly. There we go. The amp is mounted to the bracket. Now I can go put this in the car. It'll probably end up coming back out again, but just to show you guys what it's going to look like. Okay. So that's pretty much where it's going to sit. But I might end up actually sliding it forward a wee bit as well, like towards this way, because as you can see, it's very close to that lug sticking through there, and it'll be the same at the other end, I bet, which is, I can't see it, it'll be behind there somewhere, so it may need to slide this way a wee bit, but that's where it's going to sit, guys. Hopefully you think it's not too bad. The exhaust is this end, the intake is that end, by the way, so there'll be lots of room for heat to come down here. RCAs can probably go under there. So yeah, that's the plan. I can probably turn this off now. Best way to do it is probably just to disconnect it from the battery. So if I just A, turn this off, and B, go like this. Jesus, there's a loud sound from the subwoofer. I blame that amp. Shitstream. Don't buy shitstream. If you had disconnected power from a Rockford Fosgate amp like that, I guarantee it wouldn't make the subwoofer go bah. That's going to be the end of today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. I know today was probably a little bit less interesting than yesterday with the subwoofer, but I got the majority of the wiring done, and I got the subwoofer, not the subwoofer, I got the amp mounted to the bracket, got a decision made on that. There was just so many things today that took long because the car is so well put together. Getting the wires under the carpet and all loomed up like that, getting the power wire through this grommet in the engine bay was a mission. It's just a slow project because it's an Audi. You know, you fix one problem, you discover another, or you think you're in the clear, and then there's a broken metal clip in your way preventing you. But it's okay. We're not being negative. We're being positive. It's going to sound good when it's done. I'm confident in that. It's just going to be a long, slow, arduous process of getting it in the car done properly. Because I could just shove it all in there and call it a day, but we don't do that here. So thank you guys for watching today's video. Thank you for watching all week. Remember to come back on Monday where I'll be continuing this job. Thanks for watching. Choose to be happy, and I will catch you on Monday. Kite Ano.